What's the fastest way that you could scale yourself out of business? So many business owners are in the hurry to just scale their results, to go and say, I want to go from 0 to 100,000 a month like that. And there are a lot of courses and there are a lot of, trainers out there who are going to go ahead and spout that off saying that that's a possibility for them. When in fact, it's very, 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 very rare for a company to be able to scale at that magnitude. And the reason why is because the team that's involved, the culture that has to be built. There are these different nuances that have to be in place before you can ever scale to that level. So it's never just about the ads, it's never just about the marketing. There are so many other factors. So today I want to share with you the number one reason, or actually 5 reasons why it's more important for you to get the systems in place before you start hiring internally. If you're making anywhere between, fresh start out of the business where it's $0 all the way up to about 20, 30 grand a month, there are a little differences. But then when you get beyond that, there are so many major points that you have to have inside of your business. So before you get to that level, let me help set you up with the right expectations so that you can see what needs to go into getting to that level. Because there are a lot of folks out there right now saying, like I mentioned, that you can get to that $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month level like that, when in fact, there's so many more factors in place. So stick with me now. Let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get to it. So the first thing that we want to focus on is this grid here. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you and we will take a look. Okay, so the goal here is to get to 4 employees without going broke. That is the goal. If you are in business right now and you don't have at least 4 employees, then you need to get to that point. But how do you get to that point? Well, it's going to cost a lot of money to hire, right? You have to have operating procedures in place. You have to have so many different things so that you could hand off tasks, give clear direction, and really expect an output from that employee. So the first stage that you could see here is where you're at 10K a month. That most likely means you have no method, no process for anything. You're just kind of randomly doing things, trying to figure out what's working, but there are no real steps to what you're taking on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis to get predictable results and growth for your company. Now, when you get past that and you start making a little bit more money, of course, you have to have something in place. So most likely what I've seen is when I reach out to clients and when prospects come to me, they're saying, okay, well, look, I'm at about the 20, 30 grand a month. This is where they have a method or process. They may not realize it, but they have something they're doing every day that's really contributing to the growth of their business. But they don't have it systemized. They don't have anything in place for them to hand off to another employee so that they can hire out for 5 grand a month and then just move on to the next part of their business, right? That's really what we want to do. Every single time that we grow, every single time we expand, we should be putting more money back into the business and then mostly into infrastructure and employees. So when you're going back to your, okay, what do I have to do next month? Think about that. Are you in a position to take on more clients, to bring on more customers? If you are, then you have to have the infrastructure and the margins to do so. Moving on to the next stage, when you get to about 50,000, there's still a lot of folks who are stuck in that same offer, that same brand, that same messaging that got them to that point, which could be great, or it could be hurting them. A lot of the times it's going to be some time before you get between $10,000 to $50,000 a month. There's going to be some time between them, which means that the market may evolve, the language may change up a little bit, and you got to be innovating your products. You have to innovate your offers. You have to innovate your service to match and be parallel or actually ahead of what the market's expecting. So when you get to a point where you've been working your butt off, grinding with sales, marketing, fulfillment, then you get to the next point where you're like, okay, well, I've got these systems in place. I'm starting to hire out. Now we can hand off these tasks to these folks, and I can now focus on bigger issues in the business. Then which is really innovation. Then you get to the final or the next stage in the 50K where you're focusing now on innovation solely. This is where your bread and butter is. You are really dictating the pace of the company. And then you're managing the people underneath you. So you've got 2, 3, 4 people underneath you now that are really executing to a T the systems that you've put in place. Notice that if you don't have the systems to be put in place, then there's nothing for them to do really to get you the result you're looking for. So you got to have the systems in place. And so that brings me to the very first reason why it's more important for you to partner with Northwicks Consulting than to hire internally first, is because the employees, they're going to charge you by the hour. We're not. We're going to actually have one flat fee that's going to work through everything, no matter how many hours it takes us to get it right according to the standards that we established. We're never going to charge you extra or invoice you outside of what the contract said. Number two, the employees don't guarantee their work, right? You're not hiring an expert, you're hiring an employee that hopefully will turn into an expert based on your training, guidance, and systems, right, that are in place. We actually do guarantee our work. So we have a 30-day expectation guarantee and a 180-day performance guarantee. So when you team up with Northwicks Consulting, you do get that particular sense of security. Number three, employees, they're really there to follow orders and take direction. They don't innovate new systems for consistent growth. Instead, we create the systems that help prepare the direction for them to follow. So the employees, they're going to come in, they're going to say, hey, look, if I don't have direction to follow, you can't expect me to do the work correctly. Whereas what we're going to do is make sure that they do have the systems to follow, the operating procedures in place so that they can execute correctly. Number four, each employee has only one specific role, requiring more people within your organization to get the same job done. Whereas what we offer is a team of specialists. So you deal with one contact person who's going to take care of everything for you. And in the end, you're going to have the sales and marketing system that's going to produce predictable and consistent results. Number five, and really the most important, is that it costs on average about $5,500 just to hire a new employee, right? These are average stats across the board for the last couple of years. Whereas when they quit on you, right, which is bound to happen at some point, right, that's going to be an average of $30,000 it costs, because on average, businesses keep employees for about 6 months. On average, payroll is about $5,000 per employee per month. So you average that out, that's about $30,000 that you lost out on by paying that employee who is no longer with the company now, because that revenue stops with them, all that training leaves with them. So imagine on average $35,000 for one employee, right, for the training and then for when they quit, because you know it's bound to happen. That's $35,000. Now, if they're not bringing in more money than that, or if it's not a position that's even revenue generating for them, then you can't really pay that out, right? It's going to be really hard to do that. So what we want to make sure of is that when they do get into the position with your company, that you're able to transfer all of your vision, all of your thoughts, all your ideas, the system, it goes with you, so that no matter who steps in that position, if they were to leave, it doesn't slow down the company. It doesn't hurt anybody. The training period, the recovery time is very fast, because in the end, like we mentioned, the goal is to get to 4 employees without going broke. Now, if you have 4 employees, you're going to be averaging about $75,000 a month in revenue. And that, if you have your margins correct and you're paying yourself a salary, you're looking at about $12,000 to $15,000 per month getting put back into the business as just profit. So that is net profit getting put back into the business. That's great. That means you can literally hire out a new employee every single month and you would still be ahead of the curve. That's how you're going to scale this bad boy, right? In the end, even while you're doing that, you're going to have 140 grand at least coming to you in an income as your officer salary. So you're making over 6 figures, you're producing over 6 figures in savings, you're growing your business, and all that stems from having the right systems in place from the beginning. So I hope you found some value in this. If you're thinking about, should I hire internally or should I go ahead and partner with a company like Northwicks Consulting, you got to get off the fence, get the contract in. Let's go ahead and get this system set up for you, because in the end, you have got to have the systems for your employees. You can't expect your employees to create those systems for you. All right. So I hope you had a great time today watching this video. And if you found some value from this and you'd like to go ahead and get set up with a systems of sales kickoff call so you can get your own system set up and we can audit a lot of things going on inside your business currently, then go ahead and find the link or the button around this video and we'll take it from there. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.